Hey Horror Nerds, Kate here with another book review. Today I'm talking about a fairly recent book. It came out the end of 2022. It is Wishtress by Nadine Brandes. Nadine is an author that I followed for some time. I really enjoyed some of her historical fantasy novels, and as soon as I saw the information about this book, I knew I had to buy it. Unlike Fox or Romanov, this has nothing to do with our world and is entirely made up. Wishtress takes place in the fictional kingdom of Winterrune, a land that seems very Norwegian or Scandinavian in origin. Hidden within the kingdom is the Well of Talents, a place that a person can make a pilgrimage to and drink the water from in the hopes of receiving a magical gift called a talent. The main character is a girl called Myrta. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's how I pronounced it the entire time I read it, so that's how I'm gonna say it here. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Myrta is a special kind of person. She is a wishtress. A wishtress is born once every 100 years or so, and unlike everyone else who has to make a pilgrimage to the well to receive a talent, she was born with hers. Her talent, as the name may imply, granting wishes, but in a very specific way. You see, every time Myrta cries, her tear becomes a magical vessel for a wish. But when one of her wishes goes awry, she quickly realizes that it's a lot of responsibility and she doesn't necessarily know how to approach it. And as a consequence of the wish gone wrong, Myrta is actually cursed. With the next tear she sheds, the next wish that she creates, she will die. The secondary lead character is a man called Bastian. He is also talented and has been tasked by the King of Winterrune to track down the Wishtress and bring her in. It's not entirely clear whether it's for controlling her or containing her or possibly imprisoning her, but Bastian has to decide for himself, is he going to help her or bring her in? So Bastian has to struggle with following the orders of his king versus following his conscience, plus there's also the added impulse. He wants a wish. Overall, I thought this book was absolutely fantastic. I read it in about 2 days. I could barely put it down in that time. Everything about the world and the magic and the fantasy of it all just really appealed and I thought was very well done. The characters were really compelling, as were the journeys they went on, both emotionally and physically. I think my favorite character was one of the side characters. His name is Runt, and he is just sassy and snarky and a lot of fun. Two things I want to talk about that weren't necessarily bad, but I think are worth a conversation. Something that took me off guard was the different points of view that the story is told in. I'm not opposed at all to what's called head hopping, where chapters alternate between different characters' points of view. But I am someone who, when I read, I immerse myself in the story. I become part of it as much as I can. And when I'm reading something in first person, even more so. And so it was a little bit jarring. Some of the chapters were in first person point of view and some of them were in third person point of view. And so just switching in and out of the close emotional part of the story to a slightly more drawn back narrative was a little bit hard to catch on to. Also, while most of the story was told from two primary points of view, the main characters that I mentioned earlier, there were a handful of chapters from a third point of view, and I wasn't terribly fond of that. Also, the ending of this book, I will warn you up front, is very polarizing. I personally loved it, but I can see why some people would be less enthused about it. It is a little open-ended. There's a pretty major plot thread that, instead of getting wrapped up nicely, like usually happens at the end of the book, is just kind of left there for the reader to decide, essentially. And while it could be the setup for a sequel, I don't actually think there's going to be one, but I don't know for sure. That being said, I thought it was a really great ending to the story. So that is Wishtress by Nadine Brandes. I give this 2 wells out of 2. I think I might start coming up with arbitrary ratings for books. They will not have anything to do with a concrete numerical system. Probably more just a joke about the book. So there are 2 wells in the book. I'll set it up better next time. But if you're interested in more of my words, you can check out a link below to my website, kategjameson.com, or you can find me on social media, pretty much any platform at Kate G. Jameson. I would love to know what books you guys are reading, what I should read next. I'm always looking for something new. So please leave your recommendations down below in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you will see me next time, word nerds. Oh, see, I nailed it that time. Why couldn't I do this last time I made the video?